Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. In this video, we are going to discuss about the comparable and comparator interfaces of Java. Uh, like these interfaces are not introduced in Java 8. They are introduced in the Java 1.2. But yeah, we are going to cover this comparable and comparator interfaces in this video. Their differences, how we can implement it out, and what all the interview questions are being asked on them, and how they are being used in the Stream API which was introduced in the Java 8. So everything we are going to discuss here, and that is why I placed this video in the Java 8 playlist. So let's get started for that. So first of all, let me try to go to the next slide and show you what is comparable interface. So in Java, comparable and comparator are interfaces used for sorting objects. So yeah, note that both of the interfaces are used for sorting objects based on specific criteria. Coming to the comparable interface, the comparable interface is used to impose a natural ordering of objects. Okay, so let's say you have a list of numbers and like it's a random number like 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6, 7. So what is the natural ordering of this number? It is ascending order, right? 1 to 6. So that is what the natural ordering of the objects means. So comparable interface is used to impose a natural ordering of the objects. It's found in the Java Lang package. Any class that implements comparable can be sorted automatically by collections such as collection.sort or arrays.sort methods. So let's say you have a class called person, and this person class is having a like two properties. It's a name and the age, and you want to sort that person based upon the age. Then directly, like you can implement the comparable in that class, and using the collection dot sort, you can directly sort that person based upon like list of the person based upon the age or the name that you want to do. We are going to discuss those things there in this video. Okay, so don't worry on that. So any class that implements comparable can be sorted automatically by collections such as collection.sort or the arrays.sort methods. It defines a method compare to. So inside the comparable interface, it has one single stack method which is compare to, which compares the current object with another object of the same type. Okay, so when we are going to do the implementation, I will show you all those things there. The compare to method returns a negative integer if the current object is less than the compared object, 0 if they are equal, or positive if the current object is greater than the other object. Okay, now let me try to show you one example here. Let's say you have a class called person that implements comparable interface, and the person has two attributes, name and the age. Now when you are going to implement the comparable interface in the class called person, it will tell you to override this compare to method coming from the comparable, and inside compare to method you can see it is taking a single uh, argument, which is the person that we are sending here. Now in this class you can see we have the name and the age instance in this class. Now what we are doing is we are just trying to compare the name with the other person argument that we passed uh, with the name of that other person argument. Okay, so you can see with this reference we are comparing the other person name. And let's say, let me try to go back, and here you can see this compare to method, what it is returning, it is returning negative integer if the current object is less than the compared object, 0 if they are equal, and positive integer if the current object is greater than the other object. So this is what being compared here and returned as an integer. Okay, now this is how the like implementation of the comparable interface in a class is looking like. Now how you can sort it out? So with the help of collection.sort or arrays.sort, you can directly sort out this list of the persons. So this is about the comparable. Now coming to the comparator interface, this is also interface that is used for the sorting. So, okay, So comparator interface provides a way to define custom comparison logic for the sorting. So based like previously when we are discussing about the comparable interface, you can see it allow you to sort in a natural order of sorting. But here in the comparator interface, it give you the way to sort the list of the objects according to the custom comparison. So let's say the comparator interface provides a way to define custom comparison logic for the sorting. So the custom sorting can be done in the case of comparator, and natural sorting is being done in the case of comparable. Okay, coming to the comparator next point, it found in the Java util package, whereas comparable was found in the Java lang package. If you'll come here, you will see. Coming to the comparator, it's useful when you want to sort objects based upon the criteria other than their natural ordering or their natural sorting order, or when you don't have control over the classes implementation, like when using the third party classes. Okay, so this is comparator is being used for the custom sorting order, not the natural sorting order. Coming to the next point, it defines the compare method to compare two objects. So how we were having the compare to method inside the comparable interface, we have the compare method that takes two input as an argument in the comparator method. Now let me try to show you the example here. So let's say you have a class called person and it has two attributes, name and age. And apart from that, you have created one uh, extra classes, let's say, which is name is comparator, and it is implementing the comparator in it. Now comparator has compare method and its return type is int, and that compare method taking two arguments. So here you can see we are passing the person1 and person2 as the argument in the compare. Now what we are doing, we are comparing the age of the person1 with the person2, and based upon that we are returning the result. Okay, so if the person one age is greater than the person two age, it will return the positive integer. If it is equal, it will return 0. If it is minus, like if it is less than the uh, person two age, like person one age is less than the person two age, it will return negative. So this is about the compare method of the comparator. Now coming to how it is looking like, you can see uses of this comparator. So it is used for the sorting. So in the case of comparable, we directly use the collection dot sort to sort that list of the peoples or list of the objects. But in the case of comparator, you have to pass that comparator that you have created for the custom sorting in the collection dot sort method. Now coming to the next point, Java 8 introduced several default and the static methods in the comparator interface, such as reversed, then comparing, and others are also there, making it more powerful and flexible for sorting objects based upon the various criteria. Okay, this method enhances the functionality of the comparator interface without requiring additional custom implementation for common sorting scenarios. So when we are going to practically implement the comparator, we are going to discuss the reverse and the then comparison method as well. So don't worry on that. Now coming to the next topic, where we can use the comparable, or you can say the comparable in Stream API, how we can use that. So in Java 8, the Stream API provides method to sort elements using both comparable and comparator interfaces. Here is how you can use the comparable and the comparator with the stream for sorting. Using comparable with the Stream API, suppose you have a class person that implements comparable. Like previously, we already have discussed this example. So let's say you have a class person that implements the comparable. It has two attributes, name and age, and when it is implementing the comparable, it has to override the compare to method, and yeah, it is comparing based upon the name. Now let's say you have the list of kind of those person, and then what you are doing is you are converting that list into the form of a stream, and then using the sorted method you can directly sort the list of people based upon the name and then collect it out, and then yeah, that's all how you can use the comparable in the form of stream. Now coming to the comparator, how you can use comparator in the stream API. So again, yeah, I will bring back you the same example. Let's say you have a class person with the two attributes, age and name, and then you have created one another class for the custom comparison, which is age comparator. It's comparing the age of the persons, and that class implements the comparator. And now if it is implementing the comparator, you have to override the compare method, which is taking two arguments, person 1 and person 2, and we are comparing the age of the person 1 and person 2. Now how we can use this comparator in the stream API. So let's say you have the list of those persons or peoples. Now you have the custom comparator, which is this comparator with you. Now let's say you have the list of the peoples, you're converting it into the stream, and then you're using the sorted method. In the case of comparable, you don't have to pass anything here in the sorted method because it is automatically doing the sorting. It is doing the natural sorting. But in the case of custom comparison or comparator, what you are doing, you have to pass the custom comparator class that you have created, which is as comparator, and then you are collecting the list of the sorted people or person, you can say. So this is how you can use the comparator in the stream API. Okay, now additionally you can chain multiple comparators using then comparing to have secondary sort criteria after the first one. So here you can see, let's say you have the uh, like list of people, okay, sorted by name and then age. How you can do that? Let's say you have the list of persons, and that person is like like you have the list of persons, okay, of people, you can say. Now you're converting that into the form of a stream, and then you are applying the sorted method. Inside the sorted method, you are passing the comparator, and you're comparing based upon the name. And then you have another method which is then comparing, which is a default, I think, or the static method inside the this comparator interface, which was introduced in the Java 8, which is again taking the age comparison criteria. Okay, so first we are comparing, or we are sorting out the list of persons based upon the name, and then we are comparing them based upon the age and then collecting it out. So yeah, this is about the comparator and the comparable in Steam API. So here you can see what it is doing. This sorts the stream first by name, and then if names are equal, by age. I will show you the practical example of all of these things, so don't worry on this. The Stream API sorted method along with the comparable and comparator provide a flexible way to sort elements in the stream based on the natural order or the custom comparison logic. Okay, so this was about the comparable and comparator. Like what are the core differences between them, from which package they belongs, and which method it has, what kind of sorting they do. Apart from that, their uses in the Stream API, we have discussed all of those things here. Now, what I will do, I will try to create one Spring Boot application, or you can say any basic Java application, and there I will try to implement the comparable and comparator. Okay, so let me try to come out of the slide and go to the IntelliJ, and here let me try to create one project. Let's say this is Java Maven archetype. Simple project I just want to do. Comparable versus comparator. Now let me select the archetype, and it is inside this. Create it and open it in a new tab. Let me try to close the others tab. Okay, and here we have comparable and comparator project. Now what we are going to do is whatever thing we have discussed, we are just going to do that practical implementation here. Okay, so let me try to create the packages. Let's say comparable dot, let's say we are just going to create the person class, and then we have some other classes. Let's say comparable test. Now this comparable test will have the main method in it. Coming to the person, let me try to implement the comparable here. Okay, so comparable is for the natural sorting order. Okay, now let me try to implement the compare to method of the comparable, and here you can see it is returning the integer. Now let me try to have two attributes here. Let's say private int age, and let's say private string name. Okay, now what you can do is you can generate the getter, setter, and to string and other things that you need. Let's say we are going to generate the constructor first, and let me try to create the or generate the others like default constructor, and now getter and setter. Now after getter and setter, let me try to create the generate this to string. Okay, so yeah, let it be. Now we have the compare to method here. Okay, so let's say we have like we have to override this compare to method. So we are passing one argument compare, and what we can do, we can let's say just try to do the compare integer dot compare, let's say age, and the person dot get age. Okay, so what we are doing, we are comparing the age of the argument that we are passing, the person that we are passing in the compare to, with the age that we have set here in the person. Okay, so you can see that this dot age, or yeah, something like that. Okay, now let me try to go to the comparable test, and here let me try to create the list of person. Okay, so just let me try to import it, or you can remove this as of now. List of person, and it's let's list dot arrays dot as list. Okay, new person, let me try to import the arrays here, and here we have to pass the age and name. Go to the person and then see, yeah, age and name. Now come here to the comparable test. Let's say we have the age as 24 and name is Rahul. Similarly, let's say we have the other person, its name is let's say its age is 25, and we have name is Ajay. Okay, now let's say the third person is age is 21 and name is Naman. Similarly, you can create the other person. Let's say new person, is 22 or let's say 27 and name is Vivek, something like that. Okay. Now we have the list of person here. Now what we are going to do directly with the help of collection.sort method, we can sort this list. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just going to print the list first. Then after that, what we are going to do is we are going to sort that list with the help of collections dot sort and then pass this list. After that, we are again going to print it out. Okay. So what we are doing is this person is implementing the comparable, and the comparable has the compare to method which is sorting this person based upon the or comparing this person based upon the age. Okay. Now when we have created the list of the person and when we are sorry, go to the comparable test. When we have created this list of persons and we are passing this list to the collection.sort method, it will sort that list of person based upon their age, and then it will give you back those things, the sorted list, and then you can print it out. So before the sort, we are printing it. Let me try to print something here. List before sorting, and then let's say list after sorting. Okay. Now if we'll run it, let's see. So here you can see before sorting, whatever order we have created the list, like first person was Rahul with the age 24. Then we have 25, 21 and 27, which was the default insertion order. So list before sorting was like that, what like the order that we have inserted. After sorting, it is sorting the list of person based upon their age. The first person is with the age 21, which is the natural sorting order. Then 24, 25, and then 27. So this is how the comparable works. Now coming to the comparator. Now let me try to create a class for the comparator. So let's say package comparator, and let's say we have the person here in the comparator, and this person is also having the private int age and then private string name. Now let me try to create one separate class for the custom comparison. So let's say you want to compare the list of person based upon the age or the name, then you have to create a separate class on that. So let me try to create it. So let's say, or before going to do that, let me try to again give you one scenario. So let's say here, in the case of comparable, what we are able to do is, let's say you want to implement or you want to sort out the list of person based upon the age. Then in the compare to method of the comparable, what you have did, you have like applied the logic for the comparison based upon the age. Now let's say the requirement has changed. Now we want to have the sorting based upon the name of the person. Then you have to rewrite your code here. You have to change the code here. But this is not the case of comparator. In the case of comparator, what you can do, based upon the requirement of comparison or the sorting, you can create an extra class there and then do the custom sorting. Okay, so this is what the difference, the main difference between the comparable and the comparator. So if you are not able to get it, I will again explain this point. First, let me try to go to the comparator and try to implement one comparison or one sorting in the comparator, and then come here to the comparable again and then show you the difference. So coming to the comparator, what we did, we have created one class called person. Now let's say we want to compare or we want to sort out this list of the person based upon the age. Then you have to create an extra class here. Let's say age comparator, and that class is going to implement the comparator for you. Okay, let me try to import this now. Now what we have to do, we have to override the compare method of the comparator. Let's try to go there. Okay, now we have the compare method coming from the comparator. Now let's say you have this person one. Let me try to change it to the person one and person two. Okay, so we have these two person one and person two, and let's say you want to do the comparison of this person based upon the age. So what you have to do is, let's say integer dot compare person one dot get age and person two dot get age. Now why it is giving the error? Mhm. Let me try to see. Let me try to go to the person here and then see we have the age and name. Coming to the age comparator, we have the okay, something is missing here, so we don't have the person imported here in this class or what? Mhm. Let me try to see from where this person is coming and then see. Okay, the person is coming from here itself. Go to the age comparator and we have the person here. Okay, I think we don't have the getter and setter inside the person, and that is why we were not able to call this get method. Okay, so coming to the person from the comparable, what we can do, we can just copy paste all these things here. So we have the constructor, we have the getter and setter and toString. So copy this, come here to the person class of the comparator and then paste it out. Okay, so I think we are good now. Go to the is comparator and now let me try to call this compare method and then we are good. So based upon the age, it will try to compare the two person and then sort it out. So yeah, we are good. Now coming here to the comparator, let me try to create one demo class here, comparator test, something like that. Okay, now let's say we have the main method here, and what we are going to do, we have to create the list of persons. So I'm not going to create it out, just copy it from the comparable and come here to the comparator test, paste it out, and let me try to call the or something like what we have did here. We just have to print it out before and after the sorting, and then we'll see how we can sort it out. So you can see here we have the list of persons, and before sorting we are just printing out the list after sorting. So here the difference, there is a difference in the sorting of the comparable and comparator. In the case of comparable, you can directly pass your list here in the sort method of the collections, but this is not the case for the comparator. You have to pass your custom comparator that you have created for the sorting along with the list. So let's say we have the list and let's say we want to sort based upon the age. So you have to pass the new age comparator here. Now, okay, why it is giving the error? Let me try to go inside the sort method and then show you. So this is having a list and then this is having a comparator, right? So then why it is not taking this is comparator then? One problem here. Mhm. It should work. Let me try to come here. Again, let me try to go to the PPT and then show you. Like see what we have did here. This is the case of comparable. Now coming to the comparate. Okay, comparable. Come here. Yeah. Here you can see we are passing the list and then we have to pass the custom comparator class that we have, like object of the custom comparator class that we have created. So why it is not taking up? Let me try to remove this whole line and let's say we have the collection dot sort and we have to pass the second one list and then we have to pass the object of the custom comparator class that we have created. Mhm. And then we are printing it out after the uh, let me try to recheck this is, you can see this is the problem. The person is not coming from the comparator package. You can see we have two person, comparable and comparator, and the person is coming from the comparable, not comparator. So that is why we are getting this issue. So come here to the comparator and I think that will go away. So what we have in the person, we have age and name, and coming to this person we have the age and name, I think so. Yeah, age and name. Mhm. Okay, so here again we have to change this to the person coming from the comparator and new person is a name. Okay. And then we have the is comparator. Now what is the issue here? Let me try to check. Found object requires person. Okay, so arrange dot as list of person, and coming from comparator. Mhm. Let me try to remove this piece of code. This should be person. Let me try to see. Coming from comparator, and it should not give this error. Let me try to see. Here you can see it is coming from the comparable, right? So just remove this and new person.
The same thing here. Let me try to remove this, and yeah, we are good. So now what we have is we have the list of person, and this person is coming from the comparator package. We have 4 person in the list. Before printing out the, like before sorting out, we are just printing the list, and then after that we are sorting out the list based upon the custom comparator, which is comparator, and then we are again printing out the list after the sorting. Now if we'll run this application, then here you will see the result. So here you can see before sorting, uh, the order that we have inserted the person, it is coming up, and after sorting it is sorting the list of person based upon the age. So 21 comes first, 24, and then 25, 27. Okay. Now let's say you want to sort the list of person based upon the name. In that case, what you have to do? Now in that case, we have two scenarios. How to compare the list of person based upon the name in the case of comparable, and how to compare the person, like list of the person based upon the name in the case of comparator. So let me try to explain you one by one. So first of all, we'll go for the comparable and then we'll come to the comparator. So let's say, let me try to go to the comparable first. So if you'll go to the person, and you can see this person is implementing the comparable, and we are overriding this compare to method of the comparable. Here what we are doing, we are just comparing the person age, and then we are returning it out. Okay, so here we are doing the comparison based upon the age. So let's say you want to do the comparison based upon the name of the person, then what you have to do, you have to rewrite this code. You have to remove the comparison based upon the age. You have to write the comparison based upon the name. So let me try to do that. So here you have to write like this dot name dot compare to person dot name. So like in the case of comparable, you have to remove the old code and then write the new code based upon the changes in the criteria of the sorting. But this is not the case of comparator. In the case of comparator, what you can do, you can create a separate class. How you have created for the age comparator, you can create a class for the name comparator. So let me try to come here to the comparable first. So what we did in the implementation, in the compare to method, we have changed the implementation. Now we are comparing based upon the name of the person. So if you'll go here to the comparable test, and if you run this, you will find this Ajay as the first person, because we are comparing based upon the name, and the natural sorting order, the A come first, right? So let me try to rerun this application and then show you. So here you can see list before sorting. It's the insertion, like the way we have inserted out, and then after the sorting, we can see it is sorting based upon the name of the person. And here the Ajay come first, and it is the natural sorting order. Then we have the Naman, we have Rahul, and we have Vivek. So In the case of comparable, if you want to change the comparison logic, then you have to rewrite your code. But this is not the case of comparator. Now, if you'll come here to the comparator, what you have to do, you have to do is to create a new class or custom comparator class. So let's say we want to compare based upon the name. So let's say it is class name is name comparator, and here you have to implement the comparator person coming from the comparator, and you have to override the compare method. Why it is not coming? Okay, now let's say you have the person one, and then you have the person two. Now here you're going to compare the person one and person two based upon the name. So person one dot get name compared to person two dot get name. Okay, that's all. Now go to the comparator test class, and here just remove this piece of code where you're passing the object of each comparator. At that place, just pass the object of name comparator, and that's all. Now if you'll run this, you will see here uh, the sorting coming for the name. Okay, so this list is being sorted based upon the name. So this is how you can do the custom sorting in the comparator and the natural sorting in the comparable. Now next what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss the use cases of the comparable and the comparator in the stream API.